Hello, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a beautiful, fantastic, and productive day. This video, so my target audience is actually for men. That's not to say that if you are not a man, you won't get something out of this, because you might actually get more out of this than what a man would get, depending on your state of heart and your state of mind. But my intended audience is of the male gender. I've been watching Love is Blind season 7. So I have to really give some background here. So I have been single for going on 5 years. And this was not part of the plan in any capacity. This wasn't even part of the backup plan. At no point in my life of my adult life, did I think I was going to have a 5-year stretch of singlehood. But it's been a very interesting time. And so because I have been single for a time, it's given me a perspective that I would not have had from a woman's perspective. And surprisingly, at various points in this time, I've taken on a man's perspective. I know it's surprising. But it's happened, and it's happened without me putting an effort into it. It has just naturally progressed. So I started watching Love is Blind in 2020 when it first released. Like, I was one of the people that watched it in secret. I watched it early on Saturday mornings when my partner was still asleep, and I wouldn't talk about it with anybody. It was a secret. It was a secret just for myself. And then I realized when I went to work that everybody was talking about it and that it was socially acceptable to watch Love is Blind. And then I started talking about it. But anyway. When you're in a long stretch of being single, sometimes it's a challenge to see people get married, so I stopped watching it for a certain amount of time. Then I started watching it again. Love is Blind in Mexico. Love is Blind in Brazil. Love is Blind, I don't know, Guadalajara. I don't know. I watched all of them. And I was done with the American version of Love is Blind because I thought to myself, I know how Americans fall in love. I've watched enough seasons of Love is Blind. But while I was watching Love is Blind, UK version, Sweden, and so on, and then I came back to the American version, I came to the realization, and this is going to sound so basic for so many people, but at our core and at our essence, no matter our culture, no matter our background, no matter our social economic status, we all kind of fall in love the same way. Now, our experience once we are in love and what makes us fall in love are distinctly and beautifully different. Anyway, so I was watching the American version and I was provoked in such a way, like over and over again. But by design, I think of myself as being more easily provoked by men, in a good way or a bad way, whatever it may be. However, to my surprise, while I'm watching season 7, Love is Blind. Now, mind you, I started watching Love is Blind when it came out, so that was 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I was a different version of myself. I've always thought of changing, like at my core and at my essence, as something negative. As a teenager and as a woman in her 20s. However, when you change, you have this fascinating three-dimensional perspective. You're not only able to see like from one angle, you can see from a multitude of angles, but also a multitude of dimensions, like a diamond, three-dimensional. So I'm watching Love is Blind as a woman that has seen some time go by. And it's fascinating to see the interactions and the dynamics between the couples and compare it to what I think now and what I would have thought in the past. So I'm not comparing the couples and their dynamics. I'm comparing my frame of mind and my experience reacting and seeing these couples when they argue. And it did not used to bother me as much to see people argue. Like, I didn't like to see people argue, of course. But as I get older, it bothers me more and more, and it unsettles me more and more to see people argue, and not only argue, but any sort of discontent I can sense, because I have lived enough life to see the concealed discontent, the obvious discontent, the passive aggressive, the underlying whatever. And so I say all that to say I am not judging people. I'm judging my own reaction, my past self and my current self, to their reaction. And in that, I can see a difference within myself, which I was not expecting. I don't think I was prepared for, but here it is. And it also has made me, well, I've been ruminating. And I have been assessing. So, again, this is not specific. This is more so targeted towards men. And men are more inclined to be absorbed in physical appearances. But in my observation, so it's 2024. Men, all you men, okay? You can buy pretty. Pretty is for sale now. Physical, tangible, pretty is for sale. But beauty is always in the eye of the beholder. And if you really and truly care about somebody, if you love somebody, if you respect them, if they make you laugh, if they lift you up, you will see them, you will see their heart, you will see them for who they really are. And anyone with a good heart, a true heart, will always be beautiful. And so, and I do believe this, what is on the inside will come out. I've seen people. It will come out in the physical form one way or another. Don't get so caught up in appearances. If you are so invested in physical appearances, more likely than not, the physical, I think you can fill in the gaps for yourself. What you think being absorbed in physical appearance is doing to set you back with finding your potential mate. You can fill in the gaps with how that might hinder you. I don't have to. You can wonder. You probably already have figured it out for yourself because the answer is different for different people. So, I was very, very, very provoked with season 7 of Love is Blind. So, what I wrote this list, and it's called What Men Want. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. But the first thing I listed was a respectful woman. Of course, the sub-bullet, of course, women want respect too. It goes both ways. Bullet 2, a happy woman. There's so many sub-bullets that you men can think of to put underneath that. But I think a good summary is a happy woman. Then, bullet 3, a faithful woman. Do I need to explain that one? Can we all agree on that one? Maybe? Okay. 4, so rumor has it that you men are very visual. So my 4th bullet point was a visually appealing woman. Visually for you. Whatever appeals to you. Whatever. A woman that boosts their self-esteem and or, of course, confidence. Bullet number 6. A woman that takes pride in simple tasks. Bullet 7. A woman that does not overly express herself. So, I've mentioned this in some videos. I do believe it is important to make your thoughts and your feelings known in a relationship. But I also believe that you should allow people time to appropriately just receive what you are saying and then translate it for themselves in their own language to make sense for themselves and then act accordingly. So make your thoughts known and your feelings known and then pause. And maybe pausing is a night. Maybe that's a week. It could be 2 weeks, depending on how heavy the message is. Bullet 8. A woman that continues to flirt and tease in a way that appeals to you. Flirt and tease you. I'm editing right now, and this is a thought. I kind of want to commend the gentlemen on this. I have read a lot of dating profiles, and I have noticed that men take the time, at least you say you do. I'm pretty convinced you do it. But you say you take the time to just take a step back from dating, whatever that means, as far as it's defined by a man, at least you guys try to do it. I have not read many women's profiles besides from research, but as far as I have researched, we don't do the same thing. Flirting and teasing your partner, it does not get old. And I have found so many times in life, people want things that they don't say out loud. I find that people start arguments and halfway through they exhaust themselves and they really want to stop, but they don't want to confess they want to stop, so they get more irritated and the argument gets, oh my gosh, it goes in a whole different direction that it doesn't even need to go to. And more times out of than what you would realize, at least for you men, you guys just want to stop and eat a sandwich. You don't want to argue. You just want to eat. Then sometimes people, in the middle of arguments, they really want to just make up. Somebody that does physically appeal to you, but that should not be the number one thing. Because when you make anything too much of a priority, you allow yourself the ability to be manipulated by that want and or desire. Physical appearances are very easily manipulated in themselves. Therefore, it is even easier to manipulate somebody's response to your physical appearances in a way that serves them, and ultimately, eventually, it will not serve you. So it is very important to be very, we have personalities for a reason. God gave us personalities and distinctive characteristics and ways of communication and all of this jazz. He made it intricately for a reason. Okay, I lost track on what bullet point I'm on, but let's just go with it. A man wants a woman that is discreet. Okay? So I believe, even though I've never been married, I believe that part of marriage is keeping things in the marriage, like disagreements, what have you, things that you're working on as a team. Not everybody needs to know everything that you are yet to overcome. It's in progress. You can tell them once you have accomplished it. Once it is something that is a sealed deal. But I don't think men usually have a problem with that point, but I wanted to mention it. Oh, and men also want a woman that withholds criticism. And or, there's a time to withhold and there's a time to speak. But when you speak, it is important to frame things, frame your thoughts, your opinions, your observations in a constructive way. Because you are delivering this message not only for the person that is receiving it, but also for yourself. And why put that out there, whatever it may be, in a way that is destructive in any capacity? So frame things positively. Frame things as if they can be changed, because they can. Because people can change. People are amazing. So thoughts and concerns, be positive. I think and I feel like this is divine that it came to me like this. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy. When you're dating, when you're in a committed relationship, when you're married, like sometimes, I know life is life. Life is a roller coaster. It's exciting. It takes your breath away. It makes you laugh. It makes you cry. Sometimes at the same time. If you can find somebody that you can just, even through it all, you can pause, even if for just a little bit. And you can you just don't worry. And you're happy. Men want a woman that doesn't worry. But women also want a man that won't worry and that will comfort her. You should comfort each other. You should laugh with each other, smile with each other, tease each other, even when you're grumpy, even when you have an attitude with each other. Just have fun. Be in love. You should pray together. When you pray together, you're vulnerable, you're strong, and you're optimistic. Together, juntos. And it's beautiful. People, we are so imperfect. We're imperfecto. So for that reason, love without God, it just doesn't really work that well. I'm going to make a companion to this video. So that's going to be in the works. Thank you so much for listening. I really, truly hope that it has helped somebody in some capacity. And I adore you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. In the past year learned is not all information and experiences are immediately applicable. Sometimes you just subconsciously or consciously log them into your memory, and their utility emerges later. I have so much I want to say just on the portion about men taking a break from dating and what they do during that time and what I have found. But it's Friday night. It's the 1st of November. I'm getting really sleepy. I adore all of you. And this video and the bullet points and everything, and it's just, we get so caught up in what is being projected upon us as far as what people are seeking. And sometimes it's just to distract us from the possibilities, because they are endless and there's somebody for you. I hope you have a sweet November.